what's up? Rockter here, another fun video today. Now, if you have not seen my last two videos, I've been a little hard on Epiphone. I haven't been too happy with the $1,300 plus prices on their Epiphone inspired by Gibson custom shop guitars. A lot of those I don't think are the best value. And if you are curious to hear more about that, check out my last two videos. But today I thought I would do something different. Basically go over the best value Epiphones, at least in my opinion. So, I've been kind of hard on them, but let's go over the Epiphones that I think are an awesome buy, and personally I think are well worth the money. First and foremost, I will start off with this. Now, this is a 2005, my bad, Epiphone Les Paul Standard. This was my very first good guitar and my main player for 7+ years. I got this when I was around 16 years old. Loved and cherished it, still do, lots of sentimental value, and these guitars have kind of gotten forgotten. Epiphone used to have these tombstone headstocks. It's from the early 2000s. It's been a long time now. Most people don't care much for these, and as a result, they go for super cheap on the used market. But the reason I like these guitars is, A, their fretboards are actual rosewood fretboards. Now, as you know, Epiphone has not been using rosewood in the last few years. They use Indian laurel, not that that's a bad wood, but traditionally you want rosewood. And that is what these guitars have. And the other cool thing is the early 2000 Epiphones like this were made in Korea. Now, where it's made doesn't automatically mean you're going to get a great guitar, but in general, in the tier of where it's made and how people perceive it, made in USA is considered like the best. People put the most value in that. Made in Japan following after that, and after made in Japan, it's made in Korea. And then after they went over to Indonesia. The made in China is kind of the lowest tier in terms of perception, but again, doesn't always correlate. However, it is nice to know you got a guitar made in Korea, because the made in Korea guitars that you see from I think companies like Jackson and whatnot, I mean, those things list for over 1,000 now. That's desirable. So to have an Epiphone made in Korea, nice little bonus. And personally, I feel like the fit and finish on this one at least is amazing. Even though it does not have fret nibs, this has some incredibly smooth fret ends, for an Epiphone guitar, and just the fit and finish on this really impressed me. I like the veneer tops on these. The burst on these guitars from this era, I feel like have really nice fades to it. It's like a tangerine burst, it's like a dark orange to a yellow, but it fades nicely. It's like a clown burst effect. Now, the biggest downside to these guitars though, the electronics are crap. The Epiphone Pro Buckers are pretty well liked these days, but I feel like the Epiphone pickups from this era were not the best. Now, as you heard, it doesn't sound bad, but I feel like they're a little muddy. They're not the best. The pots are, I think, some cheap, tiny little pots. I've opened this thing up. It's not the best in there. The switch craps out on me sometimes. So this could do with changing out the wiring. And, the headstock, that most people did not like this old headstock. The Kalamazoo one was very popular and everyone loves the Gibson one. This wasn't very popular. But as a result of these, you can usually find these very easily for anywhere from $300 to $400 on the used market all day, every day. And if you put in, $200 worth of upgrades on the electronics, there you go. You've got a made in Korea guitar with a real rosewood fretboard, great fit and finish, and upgraded electronics. So I think these have the potential to be amazing guitars and still not cost a lot. The second guitar I think is the best value Epiphone is actually one of the new $1,300 plus Epiphones. Yeah, despite ragging on them, there is one that I'm very tempted to buy. That is the ES355, the semi-hollow one. The reason is, a lot of these new Epiphones, the high-end ones, are ranging from $1,300 up to I think $1,500 or $1,600 for the 3-pickup SG Custom, or the Firebird. I know those are going up on the upper range of that. But despite the ES355 being on the lowest range at $1,300 price, it has the best specs. It's got custom bucker pickups. It's got an ebony fretboard. It is semi-hollow, which by nature is a little more complex in terms of construction, and even installing the wiring and the pickups is more complicated in semi-hollow because you got to work through the holes. And I believe it's double bound as well. So it's got some sweet upgrades despite being, on the lower end of the price range of the new high-end Epiphones. Now, compared to that, the Dave Grohl semi-hollow, that guitar is also $1,300, but that has an Indian laurel fretboard, not, what the ES355 has. I think the Dave Grohl also has burst buckers and not custom buckers. So just by that alone, the ES355 is the way better value. And if you can get it for 15% off, which a lot of dealers will give, especially at the right time of the year, done. That's probably the best value of the new Epiphones in my opinion. The third one that I want to talk about is the Epiphone 59 Les Paul, but not the newest version, the prior version of the 59 Les Paul. So if you're not familiar, Epiphone made their copy of a 59 reissue Les Paul, and the new iteration was upgraded with custom bucker pickups, mother of pearl inlays, and a Gibson shaped headstock. But outside of that, it's the same as the prior iteration, but the price difference is huge. The current Epiphone 59 Les Paul with those upgrades I mentioned is $1,300, but the previous 59 Epiphone Les Paul lists for $1,000. And because everyone's so enamored with the new version with the Gibson headstock, I regularly see the previous iteration go on sale all the time. Guitar Center regularly sells that guitar for $750 brand new. So you can basically buy the prior iteration 59 Les Paul for $750, or you can buy the new version for $1,300. That is a $550 difference. And all you're getting for that $550 more in the newer version is, instead of Gibson burst buckers, you're getting Gibson custom buckers, you're getting that open book headstock shape, and you're getting mother of pearl inlays. That's pretty much it as far as I know. So it's not a big difference, but you're getting only a few small spec increases. So for that alone, I think the prior iteration is a great value, because for $750, you're basically, getting most of what the newer $1,300 version is, and you got, $500+ back in your pocket. And used, those are a great deal too. Again, people are so enamored with the new ones, the old iterations are selling for cheaper are used as well. I regularly have seen, I know most recently on Guitar Center used, the prior Epiphone 59 Les Paul was listed for $500. Imagine for $500, you can get an Epiphone that has Gibson burst bucker pickup, CTS pots, all upgraded electronics, a hard shell case, long neck tenon. I mean, pretty much everything. The only difference between that and the one that's currently being sold for $1,300 is, again, those mother of pearl inlays, the new Gibson headstock, custom buckers instead of burst buckers. Oh, and I forgot, I think the newer version has a one-piece neck. The older version might have had a two-piece neck. But again, not major differences. So anyways, those are my 3 picks for best value Epiphones and ones I would consider buying today. I'm sure there's many more that I'm not thinking of or I'll remember after. If you know of any Epiphones that you think are a great value, comment down below, let people know. And thanks so much again for watching. Definitely like and subscribe for more videos. Take care, rock on, bye.